I don't know now how she did it or where she got the money from, but somehow my mother brought us back to England. I remember a phone call to where we were living in Canada that said that there was places on the ship in 24 hours time to get us back to England.
Yeah.
And somehow, again, I don't know how she did it, somehow my mother got us from Ontario to Halifax and onto the ship. We went back to England on a bigger ship than we'd gone out on. A ship that was the generation, the ship that looked like the Titanic. It was one of the generation of really big Cunard ships with big, tall tunnels, and a really sort of quite luxurious in some ways. I remember it being quite, the food being quite, the food being rather a lot. There was a lot of food, and it was kind of quite unusual. It was quite different that we ate, and also there was some activities and things like that. It was more towards the cruise end of this Cunard fleet. Anyway, we got back to Southampton, I think, and by the end of 49, by the end of 49, we were back in the same village that I'd lived in, and my mother was back in she was again working as cook housekeeper for the farm, and we were living in there, and she was cook housekeeper for a farm for a family called the Wilsons. And the farm, the house was called the Warren, and my sister had gone to finish her last year at the high school, and I took the 11th class, I think, when we got back, or was it the next? No, I must have taken it the next. Anyway, somewhere along the line, I took the 11th class and started. I think the time I'm talking about now is 49.
1949, yeah.
We must have got back at the end from Canada at the end of 48, I think. Then that gave my sister a bit more time at high school before she finished, and gave me time to take the 11th class, so that I started in September of 49. At the high school, and which was, and I said we were still based at this farm, but it wasn't ideal because there was my mother and three of us, and there wasn't really room for us all there, and but they said at least we were back. And my elder sister had to stay somewhere else, but we were back. And then as it went into 50, so this is where I'm trying to get to. This was meant to be about the 50s, not the 40s. When we got to the beginning of 1950, I was at the high school, and I got seriously ill for the second term I was there.
Okay.
I got something called rheumatic fever, which can be quite dangerous.
Yeah.
And to leave you with lifelong problems.
Yeah.
And I don't know that was going what. I suppose it was one of those things that you could get. Particularly, I was used to being outdoors a lot, and suddenly I was in a much more crowded environment in the local high school, which was in a town about 50 miles away from where we lived.
Yeah.
And so I had to be off for a total term because of being ill. And that created difficulties because I had to be in bed for quite a long while.
Yeah.
But the family were very kind and let me use I had the visitors' room.
Okay.
But still, you know, we had problems
Yeah.
generally. And somewhere along the line, I think, again, with help from local people, we got offered a council house by the local council.
Because your mum and the three of you, the four of you, are moving to council house.
Yeah, we were offered, we were given a
Right.
3-bedroom house, 3-bedroom council house
Yeah.
in 2 villages away,
Okay.
and which was, I mean, it was really very good.
Yeah.
And so we moved to Heatham, which was 2 villages away,
Mm.
and the life carried on. But my sister was still in touch with this guy, this young man that we'd met on the ship going over,
Mm.
who'd I think who kept in touch with her. He kept in touch with her and sent affectionate letters and things to her.
Right.
And when she'd left school, as soon as she was legally allowed to marry, she did marry her. Lots of things started to happen in the 50s.
Right.
And my sister got married,
Yeah.
and I think, I'm not sure which year that was. The time when I got ill was
Okay.
that must have been the beginning of 1950, and we got moved into the house in Heatham.
Right.
But then it was where my sister got married, but I can't remember whether it was which year it was.
Okay, but early 50s.
Very
Early
50s,
50s, yeah.
As early as she
Yeah.
she could. And I had somewhere, I wish I knew where there's a photograph of what they look like coming out of the church.
Yeah.
And it's another one that includes a picture, another group with them and people like me as bridesmaid. But I don't know where the photos have gone to.
Oh.
But I didn't want to. Well, I didn't mind being a bridesmaid, but I didn't want to have myself done up. As it were. I was.
The makeup and the fuss.
I wasn't into sort of. I wasn't a very girly girl. I was more interested in sort of things like. Well, my friends and I, my best friend and I, were very interested in things like the history of our area.
Okay.
We collected wildflowers and we did all sorts of rather looking after nature type ideas.
Lovely, yes, lovely. Yeah.
Also, I was mad, like lots of girls, I was mad about horses at that time. And luckily the youngest daughter of the farm taught me to ride, so I got more interested in that sort of thing.
I see.
And I didn't want to be, I had to be rather dragged into, I got rather forcibly held down while they permed my hair.
Oh, really?
It made me look pretty.